Hi everybody, it's Az here from Heel vs Babyface, and before we engage Jin'rokh the Breaker for a 7th time of asking, I'll get to that in a moment, there are a couple of things which are guaranteed in life, and they are death and taxes, and a big boo to both of those. But may I now propose a third, and my third is that it's nigh on impossible to get people to follow simple instructions in Raid Finder for whatever reason, whether it be because they simply don't get it, or they just want to slack, or they just want to be annoying, or whatever reason. But it's gained us 6 stacks of determination, all these wipes. So what exactly is determination? Well, this is a new ability which has been brought in for Raid Finder for patch 5.2. And every time that you wipe on a boss, you'll gain a single stack of determination. And this will increase your damage and your health by 5%. Ergo, by wiping 6 times to get these 6 stacks, I am now doing 30% more damage and have 30% more health than normal. So you may say, well, have you wiped 6 times? Because this is testing after all, as, and it could be overtuned. Well, not so much. That would be being very generous indeed. I would say 2 wipes were legitimate, and after the second wipe, we pretty much got the fight. If I was to show you all the videos of the 6 wipes, you'd see a very familiar pattern. Same people dying, same people carrying the raid. But this is the nature of the Raid Finder beast. I don't think it's Blizzard's fault myself. I attribute a lot of it to the way that people conduct themselves during the raid. But that's all I'm going to say on this subject for now. I'd love to see the comments below what you personally think about Raid Finder. And all this, I think, could start an almighty debate, but it'd be very interesting to see where it goes. Just be respectful of other people's thoughts and feelings. So what exactly is going on in this fight? There does seem to be quite a bit going on, but it's a lot more simple than it first appears, because some of the abilities literally have lots of different outcomes. Like those electric orbs that you saw me drag one earlier, and you saw somebody run past me recently with one on at all. First things first though, the boss does an ability called Thundering Throw. He'll select a target, he'll hit it for 250k damage, knock them back into one of the Mogu statues scattered around the side. When they hit the statue, it will crack them open and water will start to pour from it, creating those pools that you see on the ground, and that is called conductive waters. Now it's vital that the healers and the DPS get inside of this conductive water, because it'll actually apply a very nice debuff to you, and this debuff is called fluidity. And fluidity will increase both your damage and your healing by 40%, so you can do massive damage to the boss, but will also include increasing the nature damage you receive by 80%. And virtually all of the abilities that the boss do conduct through water. So healers, it's vital that you are inside, because you need that healing debuff to start to make sure people don't drop. Now tanks, you've got to look out for an ability called Static Burst, where it'll hit all targets for 100k, but after 3 seconds it will apply a debuff to its current target, which is most likely to be a tank, called Static Wound, and that will deal 15k nature damage per stack to the target when it receives melee damage. So just make sure that you rotate with your off tank and be careful about the number of stacks that you actually manage to accrue. Now the boss now is doing an ability called Lightning Storm, where I can only describe he shites lightning out of his backside, and this inflicts 70k damage to all players every second for 15 seconds. So we stack up to make sure that we maximise the healing. But this ability also electrifies the conductive water on the floor. If you stand in the electrified waters, then you'll actually receive 35k damage per second. But remember, you'll also have the 80% nature damage debuff from conductive waters as well. So if you don't move out of it quickly, you could find yourself taking massive amounts of damage. But probably the most important ability of the boss is called Focused Lightning, because depending on where it ends up could determine the outcome of this fight. Now Focused Lightning is where an orb of lightning will fixate onto a player. When it reaches that player, it will detonate, dealing 175k damage to all players within 8 yards. But it will also deal 40k pulse damage every half a second to all targets within 5 yards. So if you are fixated and you're dragging the orb to the side, try not to run through lots of people, as you will deal lots of damage to them. Now, if it detonates while you're stood in conductive waters, every person who's stood in the water will receive 175k damage. Be careful. But if it detonates outside of the conductive waters, it will create a lightning fissure, and this will form, inflicting 50k damage to all players within 5 yards, so just stand away from it. But if you drag a focused lightning into a lightning fissure, you'll get an ability called Implosion, where the raid will take 250k damage, but you'll also become more vulnerable to implosions by an extra 10%. The worst one, though, is Violent Detonation, and this is if the focused lightning hits a player who stood in electrified waters, because it will deal 750k damage to all players within 8 yards. So in essence, it will pretty much wipe out all of those players within that 8-yard radius. So be very careful indeed on where you drag the lightning orbs to. But if you follow those simple instructions, fingers crossed, you'll kill the boss just like that. Now, the bonus loot roll wasn't working. I was very interested to see what's going to be in my bag now that Blizzard said they're going to be changed so they don't just have gold. And I just had gold. Thanks a lot for that, Blizzard. But I hope you enjoyed the video, everybody. Please do like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Also, follow me on Twitter and like my Facebook. I shall be back with more bosses very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.